Welcome to Evilive, the live media commentary show that answers the question, why the devil has the best tunes. We know, but do you? Subscribe if you're new to the channel, because today we're reviewing the great British baking show.
Not just the British baking show, but the great.
I just need to update my show notes. I see it every week, and I've never updated it. This is Collection 10, Episode 7, Custard Week. Custard!
Yeah. One of the most nerve-wracking fucking episodes of the season. Like, it's this one and, well, the next episode. Those are always the ones that fuck me up the hardest. Like, Custard is so easy to make in theory and so very easy to fuck up.
Yeah. Well, and then combined with the fact that they're trying to sort of put their own stamp on it or, you know, elevate it in some way, or in some cases, who knows what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah.
Because not all of these were really great.
Yeah.
So the signature challenge were floating islands. So it's custard with some meringue, sort of
poached meringue.
Poached meringue floating inside of it. I think it was Yanush that steamed his instead of poaching it with his vanilla latte, which I thought was the best looking one of the bunch.
Yeah, it looked great,
even though he didn't win. I'm upset with Maxie. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, right.
I don't.
Yeah,
know.
we'll bitch more about that with the next episode, but I agree.
But I mean, just even in this one, I was just like, where's your fucking game? What happened to you? You were killing it. Out the gate, you were doing great. And even Januz is slipping.
Yeah. It is a fucking weird season.
It totally is.
I have called it almost every single episode which person's going to go home next. But
I didn't see this one.
Top bakers, really?
Yeah.
You didn't see this one.
I thought it was going to be Abdul.
Okay. So I called it before I saw the episode.
Oh, wow.
Now, watching the episode, I agree. I totally thought it was going to be Abdul because fucking Kevin killed it this week.
Seemingly.
I mean, he got fucking third in technical, and that's pretty impressive because that was a bitch of a technical. But it shows, like, with this season especially, because I mean, I'm drawing a blank on other seasons whether this really happened a lot, but it's the collective experience that's sending people home versus how they do from week to week. So yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, in the technical, to be fair, everyone except for Sandro shit the bed.
Yeah,
like everyone's ice cream was melting. Like it was all garbage.
Yeah,
and then Abdul burnt his goddamn waffle cone shit.
And I don't get that shit either, because it's like you do it once, oops. You do it twice, you go, okay, this is the time I did. I'm gonna take a couple minutes off that.
Yeah.
And they all looked exactly the fucking same. Like the first one he burnt to the ones that he gave them. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I don't get it. It's not like there's a temperature setting on those, is there? It's just like a waffle maker.
No, it's literally just time.
I don't
all you have to do is go out, like once it's up to full temperature, you figure out the time and you stick with it to the second.
Yeah. I really thought Sandro was going to do better in this one because I thought his cherry almond and hazelnut custard looked awesome.
Yeah, it looked great.
Apparently, it just wasn't good enough. He came first in technical, so I was like, "Oh, he's got it." You know, I mean, he's done well in the past. I don't think he's won more than once. Like he had one.
Yeah, I think it's only the one that he's had.
I'm looking at my notes right now.
Yeah, he's only had Star Baker once.
Episode 5. So, I just, like, it seems like everyone is just slowly slipping except for Sabira.
Yeah, no, she's fucking killing it.
She got Star Baker last week. This week, she comes out with the Mojito Floating Islands, which did look like breaded chicken, to be fair.
I don't give a shit. That looked fucking delightful.
I just wanted to taste it so bad.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it looked, admittedly, it looked like vegan chicken more than like real chicken.
Right.
But I don't give a fuck. I like vegan chicken. And if it tastes like mojito, I'd probably like it even more.
Yeah. And there's no way it would taste like chicken because it's just meringue. So, you know, it's just a visual thing. Like, once you get your taste buds all over it, like, that looks delicious. I would like to eat that, please, right now. Like, it just looks great. So, I didn't think anyone did terrible in this first Floating Islands challenge. I thought they were all okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was Kevin that had the issues, because was it? No, it was Abdul that had the issues with them falling apart when he was.
Well, Kevin's were
No.
just deflated.
Yeah, it was Kevin that was having issues with the poaching, actual poaching. Like they kept falling apart and shit.
But Abdul was also having problems with that too. I mean, everyone was sort of struggling in their own way, except for Januz, who's like a goddamn magician with his steaming fucking meringue.
Yeah, and they held their shape so fucking well, which is crazy too, because it's not like a traditional meringue. Just blew my mind.
Yeah, it looked beautiful. I mean, it just looked beautiful. So in the signature challenge, did they like give someone, like, it was just, there's no like this person won over this person. It was just a judging, an individual thing, right?
Well, with the
like they just gave him feedback. It wasn't
with the showstopper.
No, the signature.
The signature.
The very first one.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it was. Like nobody really did that well.
So
that's right. Because it was kind of a shit episode. And then the technical, that was fun. Like I don't remember ever seeing something like that. Like I remember some episodes where they would go in and bake individually, but not time structured like that.
Yeah, seen it staggered.
Yeah, so which I mean, of course, made perfect sense because it was an ice cream challenge.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, it wouldn't have fucking mattered because everybody's melted anyways.
Yeah. How hot is it over there? Like, I don't understand. It's supposed to be like balmy and cool over there all the time.
Well, they always film this in the summer though. That's the problem, because you got to figure it's a fucking island. It's gonna get humid as shit, which changes how the temperature actually treats the environment. So, yeah, the fact that everything melted, it wasn't that surprising, except for the Siberia. Like she fucking.
Well, Sandra on this one.
I was surprised. Well, no, I'm saying I'm surprised how bad she did. I know. No, Sandra was fucking perfect. Like those were great. And then what was it? It was Maxie. She would have almost won if she had actually filled it up properly.
Yep.
Like I thought that shit was hilarious. Prue just being like, "This is supposed to have 2 scoops, motherfucker."
You shorted me, bitch. She's like pulling out a razor. You're gonna pay for this right now. And that's the thing. Like Maxie, I thought her Blueberry Lagoon floating islands were okay. Nothing to call home about or anything, but they weren't terrible. And like the technical, she came in second, even though everyone else's was literally oozing and melting out of the bottom. Hers had a little bit of substance. It just wasn't enough. Sandro knocks it out of the park. And then we get to the showstopper. And like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, it's so crazy, especially because that was the first time Kevin stuck to the fucking plan. And yeah, it wasn't perfectly stable, but it was a nice solid custard. It was nice and smooth.
And thick as fuck.
Yeah, it was like this much custard, this much fucking cake.
And they said it tasted amazing.
Yeah, so it's like, it was just so mind-blowing that he was the one that, well, I mean, not really that mind-blowing that he was the one that went home, because he should have gone home much earlier in the season as far as I'm concerned. But it was just so crazy. Like, he did pretty good. Yeah. And everybody else did shitty. Like, God, who was it that... It was Maxie. Maxie was the one that did like this much fucking custard and then thick ass cake, right?
Yeah. Well, I think she had like layers, and it wasn't enough. And then Januz's was shitty because it was like wallpaper paste.
Yeah, that shit was fucking hilarious. Well, how do you know what wallpaper paste tastes like?
I don't know.
Yeah. That was...
Just pulls off a piece of wallpaper off of as like a prop and just licks it. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, the Neapolitan one, I thought Januz was like, what are you doing, man? Like, you started out so strong, you shit the bed with your technical, but everyone did, so you can't really blame him. And then the showstopper, like, what the fuck
Well,
is
no, it was
happening?
it was the exact same thing they told him. Like, look, this is too fucking thick, dude.
Yep.
Next time, don't do it as thick. And then what does he do? He makes it even thicker. Yeah. So it's just like glue.
And then when they were like sort of, trying to have that post-show conversation before they announced a winner and a loser, they were like, no, it tasted horrible. He made the comment about the wallpaper paste during the show, but like in the commentary after, it was like, No, it was disgusting. I couldn't even eat it.
Yeah.
Like that
shit was
bad?
so fucking funny.
I was just stunned that Abdul pulled his out and it looked brilliant. That peach and raspberry, I don't know, millefenol. I don't know how you say it.
Yeah, sure. That sounds like
but
how an
that
American would
pastry.
pronounce
Hey,
it.
Bogues, thanks for joining us live. The pastry looked beautiful, and they said it tasted good. I think it was just that it wasn't baked long enough for the actual puff pastry, but it was still like genuine. It was Paul's recipe, so he knew that. But other than that, there was no complaints.
Yeah,
So
that
it's just
shit
like,
was funny
fuck.
as hell. Like that's a ballsy motherfucking move. Because if you fuck that up, like that's like spitting in someone's face.
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin's his My Honey Valentine one, you know, with the different layers, and they had to decorate it with an insane amount of macarons, which is just, what are you trying to hide? Like, it's in two pieces. They know that it fell over and it's not, you know, it's supposed to be on top. Why are you doing this? It's like they try to overcompensate for the mishap. But the mishap is understandable because you have 6 inches of custard. Like, fuck. Of course it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I don't know why he thought 3 little straws would hold up, you know, 2 additional layers. Is beyond me.
Well, that's like 3. That's not very stable. Why wouldn't you do 4? 4 is much more stable because then it can be equal.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 can be equal, but I mean, I wouldn't fuck with a triangle.
No.
I'd fuck with a square.
And like, just to, you know, for sort of devil's advocate, knowing this is your showstopper, I would have done a whole circle on the inside, you know, just to fit the damn pieces on tops, just so you know that it's not going to, you just go crazy. But watching some of them, like when Sandro, no, it wasn't Sandro, who was it? When they were sliding it off of the plate and it just started like sliding out. Or am I mixing up different episodes? Because I just watched some holiday episodes as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Mixing it up. Never mind.
Yeah.
It was just so much fun watching this show stop. I thought this episode was a very disappointing episode overall.
Oh yeah. Well, even in the post showstopper interview, they were like, I mean, obviously it was Sabira that fucking did this, but I don't know who's gonna go home. They all kind of shit the bed. It's like, damn, I don't remember ever hearing another episode like that.
I know.
At least not in recent years.
After 7 weeks, the pressure's just getting on everyone.
Yeah.
The people who were killing it at the beginning are now feeling the strain. And of course, only good people are going home. I mean, arguably, you still have Abdul and Kevin, you know, until the end of this one. But
yeah, that's the thing with Abdul, man. I did not see him sliding through, because he's just been middle of the road the whole fucking time, and we've seen people like that go home. So it's crazy.
Justifiably, if he gets to the end, I'm going to be insanely angry.
Yeah, if he somehow pulls off and wins, it'll be very. I'm going to probably burn.
Even if he's in the 10th episode, I'm going to be pissed. Like, he does not deserve to be there. He's never won. He's the only one there that hasn't won. You know?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? I don't understand why he's even there. Like, go home.
Right.
Fuck. It makes me so mad. And then he came out with that beautiful showstopper. I was like, okay, well, maybe he deserves to be there. And then when they announced Kevin, I was just like, oh, whoa, I didn't see that because they said it tasted so good that I thought in my head that would make up for it being a hot mess.
Yeah.
But no.
Well, and especially because that was the one that used the most custard.
Yeah.
Like, well, custard to cake ratio.
And fucking Prue was saying that he invented a whole new flavor of custard that was beautiful and she wanted to use it from now on. Like, they were praising it so heavily to have him go home after that. I was just
insane.
I was stunned. I was like, fucking Abdul, man, you're a ninja. You totally dodged that bullet. And
he's
they weren't
the kid
even
in the
cutting
back
to
of
him.
the class that passes just because he shows up all the time and signs in.
Yeah.
I really think that's what it is.
I was sweating a little bit for Januz this episode.
Yeah,
I was like,
he did not do good at all.
Yeah.
Like, this is the worst he's performed this entire season.
Yeah, it was just, it was touch and go. So ultimately, of course, Sabira was Star Baker because she was the most consistent with her signature and her showstopper. Not so good in technical. And then, you know, Kevin was sent home because it just wasn't good enough. It just, you know, historically, he's just not good enough to be there anymore, which breaks my little Scottish heart. But what can you do? You don't perform, you get the fuck out. That's how it works. Did you have any favorite bakes during this episode at all?
Not really, man. It all kind of just sucked. Like, I mean, visually, like we talked about earlier, the Janus's floating islands, those were beautiful.
Yeah, I wanted to try it.
Probably tastes like garbage, but they were beautiful. And
it's coffee. You can't go wrong with coffee.
I don't know, man. I've had some pretty bad coffee in my time. Still drink it, but
I didn't enjoy it.
And Siberia's looked great. And honestly, the pina coladas, I probably would have fucking ate that because anything pina colada I'm all about. But no, it was a pretty disappointing episode just all around.
Yeah. Yeah, and the whole time I was just sort of like barking at the screen, you know, being upset. You know, like anyone who watches sports, they're like yelling at the teammates and stuff. That's all I'm doing this whole episode. Like, what the? Where are you? What are you doing? Why are you paying attention? Like, you know, it's just none of it makes any sense to me. It's just like this insane episode. When it was over, I was just like, what the fuck did I just watch? That was a train wreck. How am I supposed to have a conversation about this episode? It sucked. So I was just totally bummed out the whole time. But good for Siberia, man. 2 in a row on this episode. I mean, she had a handshake last week and got Star Baker last week. She's on a roll.
This fucking... The handshake ratio this year.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, I almost feel like it's losing its potency because of just how... Like, I don't know. I don't want to say like inconsistent it is because it's not a consistent thing, but I don't know. They've been handed out oddly, in my opinion, this season.
Yeah. I thought Matt Lucas as the sort of co-host, the comedic co-host, I thought he was especially terrible in this. I don't know why. I thought Noel stepped up really well in this one in the next episode. I thought he was really entertaining compared to Matt, but Matt has just been going down in my fucking headcanon, except for the moment when he's talking to, it was Sandro, when Sandro was doing the tribute to his friend's signature dish or showstopper, I mean, and they had this. It was brief, but it was this really beautiful moment where, you know, Sandra was saying, I didn't even really want to be here initially. It was my friend who is no longer with us that she sort of pushed me. And then Matt was just like, had this one-off line. He's like, well, she would be very proud of how far you've gotten. And I was just like, you know, he could have gone for a joke and he just decided to be real for a moment. And that's
and that was the fucking smart thing to do.
Yeah. I just thought
like, I feel like he probably would have got lynched if he had made a joke about his dead friend.
Oh God, yeah. But I expect that because they don't tell funny jokes usually. I mean, and especially Matt, his humor doesn't really resonate with me at all. I like Noel's generally. You know, sometimes I don't think he's so well, but
it's been a little hit or miss this season, definitely. Usually I fucking love that man. But yeah, this season definitely hasn't all been gold.
It's especially frustrating when you revisit older episodes. Like I just mentioned earlier, I was watching a holiday episode where he was there with the previous host, and he was killing it. He was just on fire, just making stupid, ridiculous comments and just having a great time. And he especially woke up in this next episode that we're about to get into, which I thought was a lot of fun. So anyway, anything else you wanted to talk about with this episode?
Think we got it.
Yeah.
I just want to get this one out of my head as fast as possible.
Well, let's do it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live or watching this out of fact. We appreciate your time and attention. Of course, always subscribe to the channel. And if you like the video, click like. And if you don't, fuck off.
Pretty much. If you don't, what's so wrong in your fucking soul that you can't appreciate this? Like, we are giving the people what they deserve and what they need.
It's true.
God damn it.
Whether you know it or not. All right. Ultimately, evil spelled backwards is live.
And he almost
ham-fisting it in there, and I fuck it up. Like it or not, evil spelled backwards is live, so get your asses out there and be evil. I try. It doesn't work, but I try.
One of these days, man, you're going to fucking stick landing on that, and people will talk about it for decades. Yeah.